Hey everybody, welcome to Addressing a Toxic Work Environment, Step 1. Now if you'd watched a previous video, you understand that Step 1 is pretty straightforward. It is get the fuck out of there. Today I'm going to talk a little bit at length about getting the fuck out of there. So ultimately, and it's kind of a difficult thing to consider when you're working for someone else, but you are 1,000% replaceable. Just let that sink in. You could be hit by a bus and die tomorrow, and the job opening for your position will be posted long before your obituary ever makes it to the paper. This sucks. But on the plus side is it means that because you are unnecessary, because you are replaceable, because you could basically be swapped out for a decent AI and a toaster, you are absolutely within a position to get the fuck out of there. Learn to understand that no matter how bad the job is, no matter how brutal and unpleasant and disrespectful and horrible it is, you are there by choice. You're not bound to remain. You can leave whenever the fuck you want to. So, I understand that's remarkably simplistic, but if you roll with me for a bit, you'll understand sort of what I'm talking about. So, with regards to get the fuck out of there, I'm looking at it from perspective of within the next 30 days. Unless for whatever reason you really feel it necessary to make a statement and just kind of throw your hands up and tell everyone that you're done with this place, yada yada. I've done that before. It's remarkably satisfying. Yeah, sure, it may burn a bridge or two, but a lot of times these aren't the people that you're going to want to use for a reference anyway. So, very first thing is come to terms with the fact that you do have an option to do this. From there, what you need to do is you need to assess your toolbox. You need to really assess your liabilities and your benefits. So, say for example, a healthy padded savings account is a benefit. An exit package is a benefit. These are all things that will make it less of a bite if you're unable to find yourself in another position immediately soon. Similarly, if you have a spouse who's okay with it, benefit. I can safely say every time I've left a toxic situation, before I have even made the decision to go, I have brought it up with my spouse and I said, honey, if I do this, are we going to die? And depending on what she has to say, one of the first times she said, not for about 6 months, we won't die. Boom. Guess what? I'm good to go. Look at what you have to support you when you walk away. Don't just jump. I mean, granted, if you do just jump, make one of your first courses of action to figure out exactly what you have to benefit yourself. This is a whole lot of just kind of picking out your tool chest. Look at the liabilities of what may happen if you do exit. Again, you're completely replaceable. Totally replaceable. I'm going to keep on repeating that until it sinks in deeply. You are replaceable. However, there are oftentimes going to be assets that you want to carry out with you, such as good reputation, such as positive coworkers, such as positive networking. You will want to keep these sort of things in mind when you go and help that determine how you go as well. Lastly, determine your exit strategy. As noted, you can absolutely just flip your hands up and say, I'm done with this place and leave. I recommend, if at all possible, at least doing the courtesy of the 2-week notice, because even if your boss is an asshole, the other folks around will keep this in mind, and if any of them you hope to use as a personal reference, if any of them you ever hope to work with again in, say, a limited market sector, you want to leave the best approach as possible. You want to leave on the shiniest terms. In my case, I left one job with the requisite 2 weeks notice. It was unpleasant, but it gave me time to get all my things in order. It gave me time to make certain that certain people that I was responsible for, I was able to get connected with other responsible people, and it gave me a good, decent time to say goodbye to a lot of the folks that I had to say goodbye to, but also to get the contact information for a lot of the people that I didn't want to say goodbye to, many of which I'm still in contact with. There are also other alternatives. In at least one circumstance, I left after taking paid medical leave. A lot of times, you're going to have your information in order for people to kind of step over and take over it for you to begin with. But from there, you can then just slowly transition your way out. And usually, one thing that I've found with most companies, at least most corporate companies, is if someone disappears on maternity leave, there's already kind of a suspicion that they might not be coming back. If someone is out on a honeymoon, or someone is out on grieving leave, you never know. People's circumstances change a lot when they're away from the office, and big things in life that happen will oftentimes help determine exactly how much that place that you're at is currently worth and how much you want to really put yourself into it. So again, today we basically covered some of the basics. Except that you are replaceable, but that being replaceable means that you can leave at any time. Review your assets and your liabilities, and review your plan of action for how you choose to exit. Be it 0 notice, be it 30 days notice, be it somewhere in between, be it a natural break, be it a abrupt break, things along those lines. Now again, this is all intended toward the subject of getting out within the next 30 days. You may find that after doing a tally of your assets and your liabilities, that 30 days is not an option. That's what we're going to tackle on the next video, which is get the fuck out of there after making a blueprint for getting the fuck out of there. So, that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed this, and I will look forward to getting the next one going for you ASAP.